All right, welcome back. For this chapter, we're going to go ahead and talk about search in Liferay 7.1. Okay, search is actually going to be a little bit different than it was in previous versions of Liferay, and we'll go ahead and see what some of those changes are. All right. Okay, so in Liferay, we're using Elasticsearch 6.1 to index our content. Okay, basically, the indexing is going to be the way that the asset is stored for the platform. So you can think of it sort of like a cache. It's a way of providing the information more quickly to our users. So it's going to be more efficient. It's going to be a faster way of searching. Okay, so what Elasticsearch will do is it will convert all of our searchable entities, and it will basically turn them into documents that can be quickly referenced on the Elasticsearch server. Okay, so if you're coming from a previous version of Liferay, you may remember there was the faceted search tool, and there was the web content search in even older versions. Okay, what we've done now is we've actually split up the search features into a number of new widgets, and we've embedded the search bar widget on every single page. All right, so at the top of every page in the classic theme anyway, we have the widget search embedded, and we can use this to search for information. And what will happen is it will take us to a special search page for the results, and I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. Now, Liferay also supports just regular searching or some more advanced query searching where you can use different operators or keywords to make it easier to find exactly what you're looking for. You can also configure the search bar that shows up on every page by default in that classic theme to be more specific about what it is you want to search. Okay, so for example, we have the keywords parameter name. Okay, we have things like the scope, we have the scope parameter name, and the destination page. All right, so some common things that you would see from this list that would need to be changed are things like the scope. Okay, so for example, if I am on the Livingston Hotels and Resorts site, maybe I want them to be able to search for information for the entire platform, because that's sort of like the home base for all of the hotels and resorts. And my users might need to find information about the hotels and resorts they're looking for, which may actually be on the other sites for the hotels and resorts. Okay. Whereas if I'm actually on, let's say, the Livingston Resort at Bali site, I might want to change the scope so that it is essentially only for that individual site. Okay, that way, when a user is actually navigated to that site, they'll be able to just find information about that hotel and not be searching and finding information about Barcelona or Japan or Germany or any of these different kinds of hotels and resorts available for Livingston. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's going to be something that could be done as well. And something that's new is the destination page, where we can determine where the search results will be displayed. Okay. Now, like I said, that's important because now in Liferay 7.1, instead of it just opening up and displaying on the same page like we saw in previous versions, our search results are now on a designated search page. Okay. Now, in the default site, we actually have a default designated search page. All right, and this includes the search results widget along with all of the other widgets that are used to show different aspects of our search that are important or relevant. Okay. All right, so the search terms are also processed via an algorithm, and that's going to determine the relevance of the hit as well. Okay, so let's look at some of these other widgets that are available. Like I said, the faceted search, that giant app that used to be our full search widget in the past, has been broken down into a number of new widgets that allow us to be more specific about our search results. And also it allows us to have more flexibility if we want to build more specific or relevant search pages. Okay, so like I said, in that search bar, we can configure it to go to a particular search page, and we can either use the default search page that we find in the default site, or we can create new search pages. And we might say something like, hey, you know what? We only want to show any relevant tags or categories. We might want to only show any relevant folders or any relevant content that's related. We don't want to show what users or authors there were that may not be relevant, or the time that it was posted, or something along those lines. Okay. We now have control over what relevant results will show up using these different widgets, allowing us to create new search pages, determine the widgets, and configure where the search bar will send a user for the results. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to look at configuring a search bar and seeing how all of these things sort of work together. So let's go ahead and do that together. All right, so let's go ahead and click on the site selector here, and we're going to go ahead and go to the Livingston Life site. Okay. Livingston Life, as we've seen before, has a number of blogs that we can work with, so we can go ahead and configure the search for this site, and we can go ahead and search through some of the blogs. Okay. All right. So up here at the very top, we will see that it says the search bar is not visible to users yet. So we need to set up its destination to make it visible. Okay. Before we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to create a search page using one of the templates, and then we'll go ahead and set this up so that we can configure it to send our users to that results page. Okay. So in the site administration panel here, make sure you have build open and click pages. Okay. Let's go ahead and click on the add button here to add a new page. Okay. Let's go ahead and click on global templates and search. We're going to call this results. Okay, and let's make sure to actually uncheck the add this page to the following menus. Okay. The reason for this is because we don't want users to just navigate to the search results page. We want them to be directed to the search results page, specifically when they are searching for something on the site. Okay. So go ahead and click on submit. Okay, we'll refresh here. And we now have our results page. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and click on go to site, and we can configure the search bar. All right. We'll notice here that search is not in the navigation. That's exactly what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping for here. And we can go ahead and click on the link up here that says set up its destination to make it visible. This is where the search bar should be embedded. Okay. Go ahead and click on that. All right, and these are the configuration options we talked about a little bit earlier. All right, so let's go ahead and change the scope here from all sites to this site. Okay, you'll also see that if I open this up, there is an option to let the user choose. Okay, in this case, we just want them to be able to search for content in the Livingston Life site. Okay, all right. For the scope parameter name, we can go ahead and leave that. And then for the destination page, we want to change this from /search to /results. Okay, and here is where we can determine whether or not a user can use advanced search syntax. Okay, so like I said, Liferay supports it. If you want to turn it on, you can, and they could do some more advanced query for their searches. Otherwise, we can go ahead and just leave this unchecked. Okay, so let's go ahead and click Save and uncheck here. So now we have the search bar. Okay. All right, let's type Fiji in the search bar. Okay. So I'm going to type Fiji in there, and I'm going to hit enter, or you can click the search button as well. Okay. All right, and what we'll see if we scroll down here is we have the search page that we're on. You'll see /results. Okay. And we have our search widget here with the other facet widgets here as well. Okay, again, these can be removed. We can add different widgets here, whatever makes it most relevant for your users. Okay, what we also see here is we have a search bar up here, so we can continue searching if we'd like as well. So I can replace Fiji here with list. Okay, or I'll do lowercase list. All right, and search for that. And we can see here a number of blogs where that is available. Okay, and you'll also see a number of tags that have been added when we imported our blogs. Okay, so we can narrow down what we're looking for with this here. Okay, we can click on, for example, attractions. Okay, and we'll see some of the lists here: 5 things to do on your next family vacation, best stand-up in Chicago, or paranormal vacation destinations. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these, and it's going to bring us to our page with the blog here. Okay. So again, these new changes are intended to make it easier for you to control how you want to present search to your users. Okay. Obviously, in some cases, we don't want to have search where users can search for everything on the platform. In other cases, we may want to have a search that's more specific, or on the search results page, we want to be more specific about what facets actually show up that they can refine their search with. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and recap this section here. All right, so like we mentioned, Liferay is using Elasticsearch 6.1. So this is going to be an engine that makes search much more efficient by indexing that information in Elasticsearch and sharing that information with the database. Okay, we have the search bar that's going to be at the top of our pages in a classic theme. Now keep in mind, if you create a custom theme, such as the Fjord theme being used on Livingston Hotels and Resorts, you may not see the search there. Okay, so you can embed it through new custom themes, or you can add the search bar to the pages as well. Okay. There are features that we also have included, like prefix searching and spell check, which can help users sort of finding the correct results that they're looking for. And of course, we know that search results can be configured to show specific results either across the platform or across the site, or we can allow our users to choose as well. Okay. And finally, we have those search facet widgets that allow us to be more specific about what we want to actually provide for our users. What facets are most relevant to our users when they're looking for content, instead of just showing them all of the potential facets available. Okay. All right, so you have control over how you want to present your content, as well as how you want to allow your users to search in Liferay. So in the next set of videos, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how we can use the new Forms feature, which was introduced in 7.0 and updated in 7.1, okay, to be able to gather feedback from our users all throughout the platform. Okay, so stick around for the next chapter, and we'll specifically look at the Forms asset.